My name is Rhapsody, welcome back to Slay the Spire Daily Challenges here in Slay the Spire. Alright, I already did that bit, didn't I? Alright, what have we got here? We've got a character, the Silent Modifier. This actually might be my first time playing the diverse character modifier. Cards are no longer restricted by your character. As well as Midas, enemies drop 200% more gold, but you can't upgrade cards at rest sites, and binary card rewards contain only 2 cards. Just my initial read of this is this lends itself to a smaller deck, because you don't have the opportunity to upgrade cards as easily. So your upgrades need to stretch a lot further. And also, as a result of the binary and diverse, you're going to be a lot more restricted in your picks. I'm just trying to think what cards constitute a win condition by themselves, especially for the Silent. Like, Demon Form could, theoretically. But then I'd be worried about how I defend while I let that build up. I think Spot Weakness might actually be, like, one of the biggest pickups we could make. Alright. Let's see what path we want to go for. We could choose to go for an early elite. There is a maximum of 2 elites. Ooh, it's a wee bit low. Right, let's defend from all damage on this turn. We've got a neutralize next turn, I think. Sometimes they attack on the second turn for 7, and neutralize plus a defend would have had us completely defended there, which would have been lovely. Now, since I'm using 2 cards to defend here, the final strike wouldn't even get through his armor, so I may as well just block again. Ugh. Yeah, we've had really unfortunate draws here. Okay. It's just delayed us. Like, look at this! Look at this! All of my defensive cards when he's not attacking. Come on! I really need 2 strikes and neutralizing this hand, thank you. Okay. Whew. Rampage is a win condition all by itself. I mean, come on! And we have to run a thinner deck than we usually would. Like, come on! 175 gold is probably not going to be worth it. Especially considering gold is basically worth half what it used to be. There's the shuriken and the kunai. Of course. Especially because gold is basically worth half what it used to be because of the Midas modifier. Now, I would consider getting True Grit here but the thing is... True Grit here I would consider getting True Grit here, but the thing is, upgrading it is almost essential so that you can burn a specific card. And we don't have the ability to upgrade things easily at all. I think I'm going to have more ease removing cards from my deck than upgrading. So, while I have this opportunity to upgrade our win condition Rampage, let's do it. Okay. We're going to continue to fully defend ourselves, because if we can go for both of these elites on this floor, I would be more than happy to. Rampage in the basic Ironclad deck is really, really good. But it's worth noting, the Silent does start with 2 extra cards. Silent starts with 12 cards. The Ironclad starts with 10. So we're going to need to do more cutting before it's equally as useful as it would have been in that deck. We'll take none of those. Now, unfortunately, we got our neutralize in our opening hand here, and also, unfortunately, we're against the Gremlin Knob. So, life's pretty rough for us right now. Okay, we got neutralize in a reasonable hand for it. I'll use a survivor here to defend against 4 damage, because I think... Oh, never mind. I'm really hoping we can kill this turn. That was kind of the plan. How much do I care about this explosive potion? Not that much. Okay, we'll use it. Smiling Mask, the merchant's card removal service now always costs 50 gold, and we're always going to have that courtesy of Midas, so we want to visit pretty much every shop at all times. Take none of those. Tincture. Whenever you discard a card during your turn, deal 3 damage to a random enemy for each card discarded. So if we do happen to see something like Calculated Gamble, would actually be amazing for us. Now, unfortunately, we are going to have to rest here, but I'm kind of fine with it, because if this does happen to be... Also, we're going for this elite because the other one doesn't have a guaranteed shot, whereas this does, and I just talked about the importance of shots. But if this happens to be a Gremlin Knob, maybe that rest literally saves our life. Lantern, gain energy on the first turn of each combat. That's always really handy when you have the Ring of the Snake or the Bag of Preparation or both. Because at the start of the combat, you draw 2 additional cards, and then you also have extra energy to cast them with. Very handy. This is where I would have wanted the Explosive Potion. It's unfortunate that I'd already used it. It's also unfortunate that the Tincture 3 damage didn't hit the back line. Yeah, this is no good. So you'll take 6, then 5, then 4 to a poison potion. So 6, 5, 4 is enough to kill you. So what I actually do is I poison the backliner, and then I attack the frontliner and double defend, because you're going to be poisoned this turn, and next turn when you try and daze me, and then the turn after when you try and attack me, you'll die. Look 3 turns into the future, my friends. Awesome. Still got a Rampage in there. Unfortunately, due to all the dazeds being put in our deck, it is ramping up much more slowly than I would like. But, yeah. That happens from time to time. I think the final Rampage would actually kill at this point, though. Never mind. I mean, the final Rampage, by definition, would be... That's my bad. Alright. Murder. Omamori, negate the next 2 curses you obtain. Handy. Explosive Potion as well. Footwork is something I was thinking about as a possible pickup. While Footwork upgraded is huge, the deck that runs Rampage oftentimes is more concerned about defending itself while it builds Rampage, unless you have a tool to make Rampage go a lot faster, right? Like, you know, Rampage Headbutt, etc. Rampage Headbutt Draw, Rampage Headbutt, free draw like Flash of Steel. Look, every one of these is building on the previous, but there are a lot of ways to try and cycle Rampage really quickly. We could also take Burning Pact as our cycle for Rampage, start burning things specifically out of our deck, trying to get down to a super thin deck that just has basically Rampage every hand. I actually think we're better served by going for the Footwork, especially because of the score modifier that wants us to perfect fights. It seems to me that that score modifier might best be fed by, oh, I don't know, defending ourselves so we can perfect the fights. Backflip, sure. Some card draw as well as more defense for us. Okay, a way to upgrade 2 random skills. Not bad, not bad. Not great, but not bad. Ooh, Adrenaline is definitely amazing for this kind of a deck. Now, first, we need to card remove. Let's get a strike out of there. Rampage is pretty much exclusively going to form the basis of our damage. It's also worth noting again, God, I can't, so a couple of episodes ago, and this was triggered by someone saying something along the lines of, you say, wow, I can't even remember the phrase that I say too much. Don't mind if I do. It was don't mind if I do, right? And then in response to that, a lot of people were saying, don't worry about saying don't mind if I do. It's just part of your thing. Just be fine with it. Be cool. And as a result, there was a whole thread of things that I say way too often. Just like basically people quoting things that I kind of overuse as vocal patter, I guess. Something that you say while you're trying to think of the next thing to say. And reading this list, I was just like, oh God. Oh, I do say all of those things all of the time. Now, this wasn't people saying I should stop saying them. It was just people repeating those certain phrases. which I'm starting to notice more and more, even in my everyday life, specifically right then, was it's important to note. Ugh. Let's take adrenaline, by the way. I could take adrenaline. I could also actually take the war paint to upgrade 2 random skills. It's worth noting. It's worth noting. No, come on. I did it again. I'm actually not trying to. But it is worth noting that Midas means that gold basically is no issue. So I'm actually going to take the war paint. Okay, upgraded backflip and defend. Don't mind. I'm actually not trying to do it. Oh well. Okay. So, rampage, and then backflip. Adrenaline, see if I get that rampage back. I do, heck yes. Should be able to murder with the next hand. I say this self-aware, but goodbye forever. All right. None of those are really necessary. And when I say none, I mean neither. So we should be able to perfectly defend ourselves in this fight, unless we get some real rough draws on a couple rough hands. There's footwork, beautiful. That is one of the largest things that I needed to get quite early. So I actually don't want to play any of my cards before I adrenaline, because I want to, yes, draw rampage. Every time I get the opportunity to draw, I should do so. Is that true? Yes, that's true. I also should have done that in a different order. I could have done 3 more damage. So if I happen to be taken down by 3 damage, we'll know what did it. The order would have been strike, strike, then neutralize. Survivor. And crumbs. This one makes you do 12 damage. Now I can't rampage. I mean, I couldn't rampage instead of neutralize, so passing up rampage is really difficult to do. Like, it hurts a lot. Oh well. Again, should have struck twice, then rampaged. I just missed out on 6 damage. I don't do what Donnie Don't does. Again, I can't strike, otherwise I'll be down to 11. The enemy's putting out 12, so I'm going to defend again. Okay. Sure. There's the rampage. Now it's strike, then rampage. We're like 2 rampages away from the end of all this. Maybe 1 rampage, in fact. Yeah, if I backflip rampage strike, I finish the boss perfectly. Alright, 200 gold is pretty good. Limit break I would have considered, actually. I would have considered it alongside the spot weakness, in which case, instead of taking adrenaline in the first shot, in the second shop, I would have taken glass knife. In the first shop, I would have considered taking the curse before it, so that I could take shuriken, and then I would have looked for shiv cards. So that's just a completely different path this could have gone down, but I'm going for rampage. And rampage, when focused on, increases its attack damage by more than you can increase strength by, right? So racing it with strength is not necessary. I do need extra energy, though. Ew, though. So we don't have expensive cards in the deck, but the Snecko Eye does mean that we would draw 7 cards each turn, which is half of our deck each turn. So every second turn is guaranteed to have a rampage in it. But the problem is, if the rampage costs anything, basically at that point, I can't play it. It's still Sozu, but I wish it wasn't. Okay, super early shop. Oh my gosh, there's 2 of them as well. I'm not going to go for the second shop, though. We'll be fine. Oh, that's not good. Alright, I need to put one of these fools on the ground. Let's put the one with the highest HP on the ground in particular. So I do have adrenaline in my next hand. Okay, so the incoming damage is 1626. Shouldn't be too difficult to deal with. You can just put you on the ground. And then shouldn't have defended in that order because as a result of not discarding anything with the survivor, I didn't activate Tincture, so I missed out on 3 damage on a random target, basically. Good. Basically, I just have to kill these birds before they can get back up. In that case, I guess... again, I missed out on 3 damage because I didn't use the survivor. I forgot about it. Alright, we'll backflip here. Again, I think it's important to draw in any available circumstance. Just get yourself through the deck. Prepare for your next rampage turn. And rampage. Hell yes. Well, Pommel Strike does upgrade to draw 2. But I still don't think it's necessary. I think the Silent has access to much better draw than just Pommel Strike. Especially when Pommel Strike would require an upgrade. 400 gold? There's no way I'm giving you 400 gold. Go eat a brick, as if I'm going to do that. Now, unfortunately, we're about to lose a lot of decks. I'm quite likely to end up using the explosive potion in this fight, so I'm actually not going to target the backliner with that hit. Hey, Rampage came back. Because now I can do this. And then almost fully defend myself. Beautiful. Basically, we're in the Rampage waiting room right now. And there it is. Red Mask. At the start of each combat, apply 1 weak to all enemies. It's going to give us basically a turn to work with. Predator is amazing? Yeah. It's a little extra damage, but it's also delayed draw. So I can use Predator and Rampage in the same turn and then still try and set up my next Rampage. Bottled Flame. Always put Rampage in my opening hand. Yes, please. We'll also remove another card. Again, another strike. We don't really play that many attacks in any single turn. There's Deep Breath? Would I want Deep Breath? I mean, I guess it's effectively a draw that I use after I put Rampage into my discard pile. It has no weight in the deck. When upgraded, in fact, it has negative weight, right? Because it gives you a card. Or rather, it gives you 2 cards after shuffling your discard pile into draw pile. Okay. I'll take that as well. So this is basically the way I would use it, right? I would Rampage, then I would Deep Breath to see if I possibly get the Rampage back. But if not, it's still just lurking there in my draw pile. Yeah, it's basically a bad headbutt, but it doesn't cost any energy. So how bad can it be? And you know I did air quotes around that bad in real life. I could have killed that turn just by using the survivor. None of that. It has to be a remove a card. We've been removing a lot of strikes and defense. It would upgrade 4 defense and 2 strikes for us, which is fine. It's not the worst thing ever, definitely. Especially when upgrades are so hard to come by. But I am going to still continue removing the strikes and defense after this, so even if I upgraded them, I'm then going to remove them. They're not my source of damage. Cycling back into my rampage is. I'm just really keen on trying to get a rampage silent deck to work. I'm also really sad that when I was talking at the very start about what could be our win condition, a single card win condition, I didn't mention rampage. I feel bad about that because that would have looked like ridiculously prescient. Okay, remove a card from our deck. Let's get that strike out of there. Okay, I'm gonna use Survivor, and we'll see if either the Sneaky Gremlin or the Mad Gremlin takes the hit from Tincture. We can do some really cool stuff here. Beautiful. Now we can just Rampage you, and then Predator Strike you. Clear out the entire field, as well as get 7 draw on the next hand. Shuffling the discard pile into the draw pile would happen due to Deep Breath anyway. So I guess what I actually want to do is I want to use Backflip and Adrenaline, draw 7 cards into the new deck, and then if I get Rampage, play it, and then Deep Breath. Good. So now we Rampage, then we'll Breathe Deeply, then we'll Adrenaline. Okay, well, we've got 2 charges of... why? 27 damage incoming, 27 folds, 31 damage incoming. Got 10 block off of the Backflip, got another 10 off of the Survivor. Okay, with the Neutralize here, we can probably fully defend ourselves. 18, 4 is 22. Means that a Defend and a Survivor will keep me around. I do have to use Rampage. Like, I don't really have a way around that. Every time I draw Rampage, I need to play Rampage. Forgot how much energy I had, didn't play Rampage. Literally just said that every single time I draw Rampage, I need to play Rampage, and then I didn't. Okay. Well, we've still not taken damage in this fight. Rampage Predator. We'll Backflip. Okay, that possibly could have given me a Deep Breath, which would have been helpful. But now, we took a risk, didn't pay off. Deep Breath before we do anything else. It's another Backflip. Because there is a Rampage in there that does almost enough damage to kill. Rampage does 40, 3, 1. We're exactly 1 damage short of killing anyway. I mean, I should Backflip anyway. And I didn't even get Rampage, so it doesn't matter. This sucks. No AoE in this deck whatsoever, eh? OE? Gain another 20, 27s, 30s. Yeah, we still take damage no matter what we do here, basically. Oh. Bugger. Rough draws near the very end there. Happy Flower. Every 3 turns, gain an energy. Beautiful. After Image Flex. I mean, we don't really play that many cards. Is After Image still good for us? I mean, it does get itself out of our deck after the first time we encounter it. Duplicate a card in your deck. Well, I mean, you don't duplicate Rampage. That's not how that works. You duplicate Adrenaline here. Yeah. The reason you don't duplicate Rampage, by the way, or the reason you don't put like a second Rampage in a Rampage deck, is because if you focus evenly among each of the Rampages, upgrading both of them at the same rate, you're diluting the power of that one card that you want to draw for, and you suddenly have to dig for twice as many cards. And if you're not doing that, then one of them is getting more powerful and the other one is just an upgraded strike. You want to focus everything on the one Rampage. In the same way that, like, in a Searing Blow deck, you want to upgrade the Searing Blow almost exclusively. We'll take the second Adrenaline there. Not because of the energy, so it doesn't matter that the Adrenaline isn't upgraded. We're literally taking the Adrenaline just because of the fact that it's a draw 2. It's going to help us get off to the wacky starts we're looking for. Cool. 7 in our next hand. Rampage now means we can deeply breathe. And we got another Rampage. That's exactly why that deep breath, I thought, could come in handy. It is worth keep hearing myself saying these things now. It is worth noting that it's only helpful in, like, the really good scenario. In all other scenarios, it has no effect, which is why it's fine to still run. Perfect. Speaking of perfect, this fight. Alright, Prayer Wheel. Non-boss chests now also contain cards, as well as a lot of no. Pen Nib. Every 10th attack you play deals double damage. Most of the attacks we play tend to be Rampage. So that's going to be fun. Sneaky Strike and Infinite Blades, new. Okay. Rampage Deep Breath. Footwork's fine. Neutralize now kills that frontliner. And if it were to do that, it would look a lot like that. Ah, another Rampage. Make sure to use the Survivor to discard something so that I get my 3 damage. And Tincture. There we go. Headbutt. One of the reasons that Headbutt is going to work so well here is because Rampage is always in our opening hand as a result of Bottled Flame, so we never get Rampage after Headbutt. It's always in the good order. That Rampage back on top. And I'll Footwork, actually, because this Shelled Parasite could be around for a wee while. Now we Rampage, Deep Breathe, Adrenaline. Ooh. Well, at least we can put the Deep Breath back on top of the deck, and that is not an entirely useless thing to do, although it is close. Alright. Flip, Rampage, draw. Fine. In order to take no damage, we'll do less damage. Now, where's that Rampage? Beautiful. Piercing Wail isn't bad, it's just I don't want to take it. It would burn itself out of the deck after our first usage, but every single time we take another card, we are slowing down our Rampage generation, which, against bosses, isn't going to be that much of a problem, let's be honest. The slower Rampage against bosses is still fine. But against floor and room fights, the slower Rampage is going to lose us a lot of HP. Rampage back on top of the deck. Rampage. And then we Adrenaline. We backflip. And then we backflip. Nope. No, doing something else. I guess. No. Could have killed at any number of times there just by playing my cards correctly. Thankfully, it didn't result in me taking damage. Sucker punch and clothesline. Just comparing them to one another. I usually would go for the rest here, but rests do nothing for us because we can't upgrade cards there and we're only missing 6 HP. Well, our next hand is bound to have another Rampage trigger, basically. Oh, depends how I want it. Yeah, I'll do it like this. It's fine. And that's not how I wanted that to go. Pretty much perfectly not how I wanted that to go, in fact. Oh well. Hey, there's the Rampage. Flip. Mm-hmm. Show me Rampage. Nope. Nope. Let's just put the Predator back on top of the deck. I guess we're just going to use that for our damage right now. We're getting perfectly out of sync with ourselves here. Strength potion would be handy if I could take it, but I can't, so I won't. That's another one of them. Of course it is. Okay. Footwork after image. Rampage right there for the fun of it. Okay. Predator headbutt. Rampage back on top of the deck. We can now backflip. Rampage deep breath. Oh. Couldn't have gotten another Rampage. Rampage. Headbutt. The Rampage back to the top of the deck. Backflip. Rampage. That's exactly the kind of thing that we want to have more often occurring. Body Slam would actually... A Body Slam silent deck would be ridiculous, but it's a bit late for us to pivot towards that. So we don't have a Singleton deck anymore, right? Because we've got the second copy of Adrenaline. We could remove it. Rampage, Headbutt, Adrenaline. Rampage, Deep Breath. Adrenaline. Rampage, After Image, Neutralize Strike. So that seems pretty good to me. I could have done 3 more damage there. My bad. Ooh, they're gonna steal Headbutt and possibly Backflip. I don't know if I need both of those, though. 2 fewer cards in my deck is... I mean, there's no better way to say this, but it's 2 fewer cards in my deck. That said, Headbutt right now is particularly good. I'll also remove the last charge of Artifacting on the Bronze Automaton, so that if they do happen to launch an attack that I'm particularly aggrieved by, I have some way to deal with it. Kind of like that. I mean, a lot like that, actually. This is really annoying. I think I predate for 40 damage here. I can't backflip, because if I draw Rampage or Headbutt, I'll just feel a right fool about it all. Oh well. Rampage. And Headbutt the Rampage. Perfect. Now, unfortunately, this turn we're about to take, just a wee bit of damage. And we don't really have the ability to avoid it. Okay, so our best option here, because the enemy is going to be stunned next turn because of the sheer enormity of the damage that it's putting out this turn, is actually to not defend ourselves at all, even slightly. Instead, we do as much damage as possible with the hope that next turn we would be able to kill them off. Which we could. Fire Potion, Last Night Brutality. Now, Brutality is actually super interesting. It gets us an extra card every single turn, but it is at the cost of our HP. And HP is a bit rough for us to come by on room fights. Like, this is good in an extended fight, but in an extended fight, we can't really afford the HP. Is that strictly true? I'm gonna take it. No! Am I? I'm not gonna take it. Especially because we have Footwork and After Image. The possibility exists that next floor we get an enemy who we really don't want to have that many powers against, and here it's pretty easily Runic Dome. Dono and Decker. Alright, well, turns out the power wouldn't have been that bad, but Dono and Decker do ramp up quite quickly. Oh, there's actually quite a lovely path here. Early shop as well, 821 gold. Or 812 if you want to count, count it correctly. Okay. Well, not exactly what I was looking for there, but fine. After Image first, then Rampage. Oh no, I can do it in this order, of course. We'll defend, headbutt the Rampage back to the top of the deck, and then we can Adrenaline. If I backflip, we can Adrenaline again. Really wanted to use the Predator there. Unfortunately, the Adrenalines weren't upgraded. Alright, and that is enough damage to kill. Beautiful. Also leaves us, by the way, on 10. Uppercut. Apply 2 weak, 2 vulnerability, and deal 13 It might just be a good flavor card to put in the deck, especially considering the final bosses have 2 charges of artifacting each. The ability to apply weakness for a little bit longer, and vulnerability especially, is actually not that bad. I think I'll take that. Paper Crane. Enemies with weak deal 50% less damage rather than 25% less damage. That is hugely amazing. Removing another card from my deck. I could remove the Adrenaline. In fact, I will. And then I'll include Master of Strategy, draw 3 cards, a Finesse to draw a card as well as get some block, like no reason not to, I guess. Perfect. If I bought the Toxic Egg beforehand, I could have had both the Master of Strategy and the Finesse upgraded. The Finesse upgrades for 2 more block, the Strategy upgrades for another card. I probably should have done that. I was thinking that there's going to be a later shop, which, oh no, there is. Oh, but there isn't a guaranteed one if I want to go on the path with the most elites. Yeah, that's a misplay on my part. I should have just spent all of my money there. Okay. Rampage. Headbutt. Adrenaline. Rampage. Deep Breath. Finesse. Rampage. There we go. That's basically the kind of thing that I'm looking for every turn. Come on, couldn't get me Rampage? Just checking. Would have been really handy. Oh well. Headbutt being the first card of a new deck is always rough. breath back on top. This guy's gonna heal himself, isn't he? No, okay, I can just kill you right now then. Block. Don't get it. Of course, I gotta remind myself, I don't get all of these things that keep appearing. Despite how much I want them. Okay. Uppercut Predator goes there just so that I don't get dazed into my deck. Actually gonna drop the defend here. I'm not even gonna use the second footwork, the only footwork. Yeah. Didn't really think I would be able to afford it. That's why. Never mind. Beautiful. We have exactly enough damage there. Well, when I say exactly, I mean roughly. Okay. Uppercut and then rampage for the kill. If we defend first, we do it perfectly. Backflip. I can't take a second copy. Just remove something else for that same infraction. Sorry, friend. Okay. I really want to uppercut first. Headbutt. Rampage. Then do I do minimal draw to get it? I don't think it matters, but it might, and I may have just made the wrong decision. Okay, well, I know that my discard pile has Rampage and the rest of my deck doesn't, so shuffle it in. See if we get it. We didn't. I could here play Backflip for the possibility of drawing Rampage, Master of Strategy, or Finesse. That's 3 cards that I want to draw. Err on the side of caution. Now, unfortunately, I have taken damage in this fight at this point. That's rough. It's rough. So we'll Rampage, headbutt the Rampage back to the top of the deck. Rampage is now doing double damage, courtesy of the pen nib. So I'm just going to harshly defend right now and then kill next turn with a single Rampage. Of course, the vulnerability wore off, and of course, I definitely knew the vulnerability was going to wear off, and that was something that I planned around. Well, we still kill with the Rampage. Back in preparation, at the start of each combat, draw 2 additional cards. That's really good. Our opening hand is going to be 9 cards now. Just very handy to have. Rest here. Take on another elite. Okay. Rampage. Headbutt. Finesse. Rampage. Master of Strategy. Aw, man. Uppercut super late in here. Backflip. Adrenaline. There's the deep breath. Beautiful. See if we can get that Rampage back. We can't. That's okay. I could have played that much more defensive, and I almost certainly should have as well. Rampage back on top. There's the finesse for the free Rampage draw. Neutralize? Nope. Okay. Probably taking damage this turn. No. Okay, you did a burn instead. That prevents us from taking damage. And we have enough to play this whole hand out. Beautiful. No damage that turn as well. And then there's the Rampage. Beautiful. We got to perfect the fight. Meat on the bone. If your HP is at or below 50% at the end of the combat, heal 12 HP, as well as a regen potion I can't have. Expertise is interesting. I'm going to take it. It's upgraded. Alright, we'll go for the extra elite. Regal Pillow, heal an additional 15 HP when you rest. Dual Wheel Whirlwind. No. Neither. All that lovely rest that we've done. Rampage. Headbutt. Backflip. Rampage. Deep breath. Stab. This is going to be a fun fight because Rampage ramps up ridiculously. It is just insane. So, use the expertise here. Rather than the other harder draw. Not the card I intended to play there, by the way, just in case you were wondering. The first block. Page. Headbutt. Then we get a free Rampage, then a Deep Breath. Oh, look, it's Rampage for 168 damage. That's a lot of damage from Rampage. We'll actually play Finesse first, though, so that we get more weakness on you. See, it's dealing double damage, and we've also got the slow buff. But I'm worried that now I'm going to take damage. No, beautiful. Okay, we've still not taken damage in this fight. Headbutt puts the Rampage back on top of the deck. Expertise draws it. Make you vulnerable as well as deal one more damage, and then we Rampage for the kill. Beautiful. Runic Dodecahedron if your HP is full, gain energy at the start of each turn. This would have been turned off by Brutality, by the way, but this is going to be really handy. It's just easy extra energy for us. Exhume is interesting. As long as we do it after Master of Strategy or Adrenaline, it's really good. If we get it beforehand, we're sad. But you know what? We'll be fine. We're going to get it at the right time. I can feel it in my bones. Rampage, then Deep Breath. Just get it back in the deck. We'll Adrenaline, then Exhume the Adrenaline. There's the Rampage again. And then we'll just draw through as much more of the deck as we can. I could Master of Strategy. Get the Headbutt, put the Rampage back on top of the deck, and then pass the turn. Hell yeah. Rampage, Headbutt, Expertise. Rampage. Ooh, just short of the kill. 1 energy short as well as 2 damage short. That'll do. Shovel, you can now dig for loot at rest sites. Really wish I had that much earlier. Gain 220 gold, don't mind if I do. We'll dig here for a random relic. We got the Mummified Hand. Whenever you play a power, a random card in your hand costs 0 to the rest of the turn, which is handy. I had to. Alright. After Image makes the Rampage cost 0. Hell yes. Rampage the back line. Ness. I do want to neutralize Uppercut the front line, because you're going to be weak now for 2 turns, which is also, handily, the amount of turns you're going to attack for. Despite the vulnerability on the frontliner, I still want to attack the backliner first. Is that true? No, it's not. By the time we've killed one of them, we will be perfectly prepared to kill the second one. So here we headbutt to put the rampage back on top. So exhume the adrenaline. Survival one of those out of our hand. We'll deep breath first, just in case it gives us rampage. We have to play it. Actually didn't want that to happen. Headbutt the rampage back to the top of the deck, sure. Expertise is the largest card draw I can do right now. Getting a lot of card draw that's not particularly helping me right now. Thank you. Okay, Predator made itself to cost 0 there. We'll actually neutralize the backline to remove your artifacting. We should still be immaculate. Unfortunately, the backliner is going to be attacking this turn, and that is not good. That was wrong. But if I headbutt and then played the deep breath, if I headbutt the rampage to the top and then played the deep breath, I still wouldn't have got the rampage, right? It would have shuffled. I do need those dazed to burn themselves out of my deck, unfortunately. Yeah. Took 3 damage there. That's really, really rough. Now we'll deeply breathe. Give ourselves as much new fuel as possible. Rampage, headbutt, the rampage back to the top, expertise, and then rampage, deep breath to get the rampage. Oh, we got the expertise instead. Damn. So again, we've taken a wee bit more damage here than I'd have liked, but honestly, I don't think it went that badly. Yeah, that's a buff. Then we rampage next turn for the kill. Did take 52 minutes, so, you know. If we've done anything wrong, it's we did this way too slowly. 1,058. Ugh. We did get a Highlander, we did get reigning money, we got 3 champions, 1 perfect, 1 overkill. So, how many, like, we could have done beyond perfect with better choices with the same build that we did. I can't theorize about how any other builds would have gone. I think that the Shuriken into Limit Break would have been a reasonable build. How do we compare? Shouldn't actually be that bad. Yeah, exactly. Like, what are we on? 21. The 21st. Ha ha ha! 3 above NL. Yeah, we did it. And 16 below NL's misplaced. That's fair. Alright. I don't feel too bad about that now, considering still the 21st. All's well here. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Slay the Spire. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully the 3rd character is released soon, because I'm driving myself mad recording these at the last moment. Adios.